Ever felt like you don't belong? Like you're just faking it and everyone else has it all figured out? Trust me, you're not alone. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about something a bit different from my usual content. I know it doesn't directly align with my mission of simplifying sustainability, but I wanted to get a bit personal and discuss a topic that's incredibly important and that I personally discuss a lot whenever someone talks to me about their career or their career progress and choices, which is imposter syndrome. Before I get into this, I want to share a bit of my story. When I first started in the sustainability and consulting world, I was passionate, eager, and ready to make a difference. But there was this nagging feeling that I wasn't good enough. Even with my 2 degrees in architectural engineering and lined up certifications, I'd be in meetings surrounded by experts and I'd think, what am I even doing here? That's imposter syndrome, my friends, and it's more common than you might think. So what exactly is imposter syndrome? It's the internal experience of believing that you're not as competent as others perceive you to be. This can manifest as feelings of fraudulence and inability to internalize achievements. According to a study by the International Journal of Behavioral Science, around 70% of people will experience imposter syndrome at some point in their lives. Everyone from top executives and famous personalities have dealt with this. For instance, Sheryl Sandberg, former COO of Facebook, has openly discussed her struggles with feeling like an imposter despite her success. She once said, "There are still days when I wake up feeling like a fraud, not sure I should be where I am." And let's not forget Maya Angelou, who, after writing 11 books, said, "Each time I write a book, I think, uh-oh, they're going to find out now. I've run a game on everybody and they're going to find me out." A lot of others spoke about this, and they're all famous figures that you wouldn't initially think are experiencing this, from Michelle Obama to Tom Hanks. So, whether you're in business, tech, arts, or any field, imposter thoughts can strike. It doesn't discriminate. But I truly believe that the sustainability field is guilty of kind of heightening or increasing that feeling, because it's just so vast and there's so much to learn that you'll never really at any point in time get a full grasp of what you need to know. And just when you feel like you do, boom, another standard or regulation gets launched, because it's just such an evolving field. I know that there are also a lot of other factors that cause people to feel like an imposter, and some of them can often be linked to various factors, such as being part of a marginalized community or being a woman in a male-dominated industry. I remember around 8 years ago, I had to do an internship on site. And that internship was my first encounter of a strong imposter syndrome feeling. I was going to site every day for about 4 months, staying in the temporary site offices that they had, and it was full of men who are pretty experienced and that have spent a very long time doing what they do. And I was just fresh out of college, not knowing what I'm doing, and actually that wasn't an encounter of imposter syndrome. It might have been just a very bad situation to be in, but these are the types of situations where this feeling gets heightened, where you're in a place that you think you shouldn't be, while it's very normal to have an intern in a room full of experienced people, because that's where they will learn. So it was all in my head. I remember a particular moment early in my career. I was leading a sustainability project for a major client, and despite the success we were having, I constantly felt like I was one mistake away from being exposed as a fraud. It was exhausting and pretty frustrating because I knew I had all the technical knowledge required to carry out the project just fine, but I still had some level of anxiety before any big meeting. And the way I got over it is that I realized that most people are the same. The more I talked to colleagues and mentors and even executives, the more I realized that most of them felt the same way. So once I realized that everyone has doubts, everyone has these moments, it made it a lot better. Not that I'm happy about the fact that people struggle, but it was just reassuring to know that we were all on the same boat. Several executives and entrepreneurs say that the more you get involved in every aspect of business, the more you see it and the more you realize that actually some of the people on these boards aren't as smart or intimidating as you make them to be in your head. So I wanted to create this video to share some tips that have helped me, and I hope they help you too. First, acknowledge your feelings. It's okay to feel like an imposter sometimes. Recognize these thoughts and don't try to push them away. According to psychologist Dr. Valerie Young, recognizing and naming your feelings is the first step in overcoming them. Second, reframe your thoughts. Instead of thinking I'm not good enough, think I'm learning and growing. This shift in mindset can make a huge difference. When you emphasize to yourself that you will forever keep learning, the more knowledge and skills you acquire, the more confident you'll feel. Another tip that I have heard from a friend but haven't tried myself yet is to document every accomplishment, big or small, as they happen. This could be a successful project you completed, positive feedback you received, or a skill you've mastered. Having physical, digital, paperless record to look back on can be a powerful reminder of your capabilities and progress. I often struggle with this because I keep thinking that listing achievements goes against being humble. But while being humble is a virtue, overdoing it can get in your way career-wise. We should never downplay our achievements to the point where we don't give ourselves justice. In fact, I recently asked my colleagues to write me recommendations on LinkedIn because I needed a reminder of what I bring to the table. When I read their recommendations, I was so proud, and I found it really incredible how hearing about your strengths from others can boost your confidence and help you see yourself in a more positive light. The next tip is one I love very much and have found it very helpful, which is to teach others. When you explain concepts or skills to someone else, you reinforce your own understanding and confidence. Plus, seeing others benefit from your knowledge can be a huge confidence booster. There's this rule I came across recently called the 10% rule, and it's such an empowering concept, especially for those of you who struggle with sharing their knowledge. The idea is simple. You don't have to be the world's leading expert to teach or share your knowledge. If you know just 10% more than your audience, you're in a position to help them. For me, this was a game changer. When I first started thinking about sharing my knowledge online, especially in the sustainability space, I was constantly held back by thoughts like, what if I'm not knowledgeable enough? Or there are so many other people who know more than I do. But embracing the 10% rule gave me the confidence to step forward and made me realize that I don't need to have all the answers. It's just about being ahead enough to guide others who are just starting on their journey. And that's enough to make a meaningful impact. While it's important to note that imposter syndrome can be a serious issue for some people, causing significant stress and anxiety, but I'm discussing it here in a lighter sense that's focused on career context. I also know that throughout the video I've been referring to imposter syndrome like it's a purely negative experience. But here's a shocker. Imposter syndrome can actually have positive effects. Research actually suggests that a healthy dose of it can drive individuals to work harder, strive for continuous improvement, and achieve higher levels of success. For example, a study published in the Journal of Behavioral Science found that individuals who experience imposter syndrome are often high achievers who push themselves to excel beyond their peers. This heightened self-awareness and critical self-evaluation can lead to better performance, as individuals with imposter syndrome are more likely to prepare more thoroughly and seek feedback to avoid perceived inadequacies. Also, I think the humility that comes with it can help you keep a learning mindset, making you more open to new ideas and constructive criticism. This can be extremely beneficial in professional environments, where adaptability and continuous learning are a key to success. So, I guess my message here is that if you're struggling with imposter syndrome or imposter thoughts, know that you're not alone. We all have our doubts and fears. But by acknowledging these feelings and dealing with them correctly, and also reminding yourself that literally everyone is on the same boat, you can overcome them and use what's left of them to your advantage. If this video resonated with you, please do share your tips and experiences in the comments. And if you found it helpful, please subscribe and share it with someone you think will benefit from hearing this. Till next time, thanks for watching.